Morning.
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 But first of all, I'd just like to thank all of the 109 persons that were so willing to not only sacrifice their bodies, but also their time. And I had the opportunity to bear witness on that day to the heroic acts of all of them in what we knew was a very difficult moment, a very tense and at times violent moment. I went back a couple of days ago and just reviewed the tape of them arresting elders and very forcefully securing them into handcuffs. And so I just want people to understand that this was not people sitting and singing songs and being jovial. This was very much a standoff between the will and needs of the people against the empire. And so repeatedly, we have created documentation to provide everyone information that shutting off water is a violation of everyone's human rights. We have talked about repeatedly the connectivity between the heroic acts of the Hammered Nine and the heroic acts of the activists in Flint, because water sovereignty is all connected and interconnected. We have repeatedly uplifted that fracking and what is happening to radioactive waste, not only in the UP, but what's happening right here in our own backyard, where U.S. ecology is allowed to repeatedly violate permits and things that should be regulated by MDEQ. So once again, MDEQ has failed to protect the citizens of Michigan.
Amen.
What I'd like to also add on the record is that repeatedly activists get demonized and labeled as not capable of leading themselves, not able to draft policies and legislation, not capable of providing scientific data and evidence, and I would say not so. That these folks here before you have repeatedly been a part of providing that kind of evidence and testimony. And they've been joined by national and international organizations like the United Nations, like the Inter-America's Council for Human Rights, like the U.S. Human Rights Network. So we're not alone in this struggle. Now, the master narrative here in Detroit is one of that those that have left the city want to return to the city. And that they should not have to pay to drink. But those that stayed and paid and have continued to invest in a water system that at one point provided water to over half the state of Michigan. About 4.3 million Michiganders got their water from the city of Detroit. Over 126 municipalities and townships. We are indebted for subsidizing the development of the suburbs. And we continue to pay and pay and pay. But we should not have to pay to be sick. And so we, the people of Detroit, has joined not only with the folks here, but scientists and researchers from health institutions right here in the city who have said enough is enough. We are repeatedly providing research and data that shows that there is a 400% increase in ER visits and hospitalizations in communities where they have had massive water shutoffs.
Shame.
Once again, we are having to FOIA and solicit our attorneys to seek information that should be readily available to the citizens of Detroit and the taxpayers. We have a statement from Population Health Council. Professor John Pyle, the director of the Haas Institute for a Fair and Inclusive Society, and he is also the co-chair of the Population Health Council, advised this community engagement and advocacy advisory committee to work within the purview of the council's expertise and focus on the public health effects of the lack of access to processed water. The committee issued a statement approved in June that advocated for public health based on exceptions to the water shutoffs, building upon a memorandum from Councilmember Lopez from City Council District 6. The statement advocates for a moratorium on water shutoffs for the following: infants and children under the age of 18, seniors age 62 and above, persons with mental illness, persons with disabilities, expectant and breastfeeding mothers, persons dealing with chronic diseases or otherwise in need of critical and or medical care. Almost 60% of the population in the city of Detroit falls into one of these categories. It is not wise for the financial comeback of the city. It is not wise for the health of the city, but even deeper than that, it is not wise for the moral health of this city and this state to continue to shut off water. Thank you.